Did you ever get a hankering for a food that you didn't mind preparing, even if it was late in the day, like 10, 11 o'clock at night? It was the weekend, you didn't care about preparing it, only to forget that, well, maybe an ingredient or two was unavailable. And you certainly did not want to get in a car, and you certainly did not want to go to an all night grocery store. Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Jan. Welcome to another episode on this channel. Of course, the bird clock is going up. The Save Money More with Jen channel. I couldn't plan this any better. It just is. Okay, so a while ago, I had a hankering for homemade quiche Laurent. I love quiche. I love quiche, and I love quiche when it is done well. And that was a very popular food back in the 1970s. So whenever I eat a piece of it, I take myself back mentally to the dinosaur years of the 1970s. I know some of you watching go, what's the 70s? Okay. It actually existed. That's how we got to today. All right. But anyway, I had a hankering for a quiche Laurent. And it's really not hard to make. It's just a matter of assembly. Okay. If you have like those already done up, pie crust and whatever, you just put you know, the ingredients of the pie crust in there. It's just simple. It's just a matter of assembly. But that evening, when I had the hankering and it was kind of late, but I was going to stay up late because I didn't care because it was the weekend. So there. So I said, well, I'm going to make this. Slice, dice, chop up. And I'm thinking I have the heavy cream available that is needed for the recipe. I said, well, if I have half and half, maybe I can make do with that. No heavy cream. No half and half. But an old trick that I learned back in the old days still works today. So what did I do as a swap out? I did have plenty of regular whole milk. I said, well, all I have to do is add a little bit of butter fat to that. So part of the recipe, of course, is, blending the heavy whipping cream. So I made my own per se heavy whipping cream. What did I do? I just eyeballed it. And I put a little bit of butter, maybe it was half a stick. Okay. And it was melted. I let it cool down a second, melt it, let it cool down, put it inside my blender. And I just whirled it around. In the mind's eye of the recipe, it recognized it as cream because it was still milk with fat. And butter is made from whole cream, okay, from heavy cream. So I actually putting cream inside the milk. So I just made a match made in heaven off the top of my head. And did it work? Yeah, it worked. So I just thought I'd share that with you in case. I'm not saying that you could bake a cake and make whipped cream out of that. No. What I'm saying is like as an ingredient, as part of a baking process, then it works. So I just thought I'd let you know that. So, and how about buttermilk? A lot of recipes call for buttermilk. I couldn't drink a sip of buttermilk to save my life. I think it is just not for me. I really would get more graphic about it, but I like to be a polite person. So therefore, no. Not for me, but there are some people out there that love it, absolutely love it. I'm like, wow, kudos to you. I don't. So I'm certainly not going to pay good money for it. I'm certainly not going to buy a bunch of it just because a recipe may want a cup of it. No. So I'll just sour it up with a little bit of vinegar, regular milk, whole milk, sour it up a couple of seconds, whatever. Then you toss in your recipe. And that's the buttermilk for me. I am not going to buy it on purpose just for that. First of all, that's wasteful. Why should I buy a whole thing of buttermilk if I never use it, never drink it, whatever? Just for the possibility of a maybe recipe? I'm not going to regenerate more buttermilk. I don't like buttermilk. I understand, the tricks it does in recipes. I get that because baking is a science. I get that. So I scientifically redesigned it. What many people do is a swap out. I'm sure you heard of it before. If not, it's a great trick. Sour up regular milk by using a little bit, capful or two of vinegar. It doesn't take much vinegar to sour it up. I promise you. It doesn't take long to happen either. It happens practically instantly. All right. Cinnamon sugar. Honestly, other than maybe for it being conveniently located in one jar, I don't get why people spend separate money on cinnamon sugar. Most people already have ground cinnamon in their home or apartment. Most people already have white granulated sugar in their home or apartment. Is it that hard to put it together? And I would eyeball it to my tasting. If I'm more of a cinnamony person, I will just keep more cinnamon and add less sugar. If I'm more of a sugar person, then I would add more sugar and less of the cinnamon. You eyeball it. You know those little containers, so cute, or just some of those like empty ones, like from prior, use of. Put it together in that. Shake out. Done deal. Or if your cinnamon in the little jar is, going low, you start making it from there and have it conveniently ready for you. I do not see a purpose in spending extra money on cinnamon sugar other than the convenience that it's already done. You could do it up yourself if you want the convenience in advance. That's just me. I don't know. Garlic salt trick. Okay. It's similar to the cinnamon sugar trick, except it's garlic and salt. Garlic, salt. Okay. Can we put it together? Garlic powder and salt. Same idea. Same thing. I just call me crazy. It's also great if you're running low on garlic powder and you have a little time left before your next visit to the grocery store. Just add, you have to look at it and eyeball it. Add some salt to the garlic powder, and that will stretch it. That will absolutely stretch it. Okay. And obviously, regular garlic powder costs usually much more than garlic salt for obvious reasons. All right, but you could work it out that way. I mentioned the cream component, buttermilk. Okay, garlic salt. Oh, I discovered this trick recently. Okay, this is the last one for today. I know you guys are totally busy. But I discovered this on my own volition recently. You can actually, for those who sometimes want to drink iced coffee, you don't have to go to the specialty store and spend a ton of money for iced coffee. No, you don't. You don't even have to brew it up. Here's the beauty part. The instant coffee that I have, the one from that company beginning with letter A, you could actually put ice cold water with a little bit, almost a teaspoon of the instant coffee, put it together, voila, done. It dissolved. I thought that you only had to have hot water. It would never work unless you had hot water in it, okay? And I convinced myself many times, no, you can only put hot water before it dissolves. No, I was so shocked. Maybe they changed the chemistries of things over time. Cold water to the teaspoon of the instant coffee. Add your favorite milk, cream, whatever to it. You want a little sugar? You want a little cinnamon? You don't even need the ice cube. Well, I always keep some bottles of ice cold water in my refrigerator whenever you just want some refreshing water that's already chilled. So in my case, I just put it together. Oh, sometimes I don't want hot coffee. Sometimes I want it cold. Sometimes I want it iced coffee. And if you've never tried it, try it once. Many people don't like it and many people do like it, but it's always worth a try. But to make it cheaply, I can make it for less than 30 cents as opposed to $3. Why? Because they have better looking ice cubes. I don't even need ice cubes in mine, but I'm just sharing that it actually works. In my case, it worked. Try the experiment. Can cold water dissolve with your instant coffee? Do it for fun, just to find out. You might be shocked. All right. I hope that these tips have helped you. Don't forget to click like, share, and consider subscribing or just subscribe.